Kumain ka na? Have you eaten yet? If you grew up in a Filipino or in many immigrant homes, that question is how we say, I love you. I've come to realize that my family didn't say those words and they show it through, kumain ka na? Have you eaten yet? And that's been my love language as well. Making sure that my family is fed. And that's why I'm here in my kitchen right now, just finished making garlic fried rice. And as I continue to watch, I'll share with you how I make garlic herb fried rice and how I meal prep. Yet, as much cooking and feeding is a love language, it also comes with the pressure. A pressure to make sure that everybody is fed, that everybody is taken care of. Yet sometimes, in that pressure of taking care of everyone else, my needs or maybe your needs have been in a back burner. And this is the kind of conversation that I want to talk to you about today. Well, let me ask you gently, have you ever loved so much that you forgot yourself? You kept feeding people, you start feeling resentment and overwhelm, yet you're just over functioning, carrying all the responsibility that is not even yours because you don't want to be a burden. You see, I had been there. I was the ate, the big sister. Coming here from the Philippines and being the eldest and transitioning to another country is not easy. There's this feeling of not wanting to add any more on the load that my parents are already experiencing. So by the time that I became a mom, it made sense to me why I was burnt out. Is because I've been mothering since I was 12, 13 years old. And like I shared, I got married, became a mom, life slowed down. And guess what? Slowing down revealed a lot of things that I didn't know I suppressed and buried. And it made me think that there's something is wrong with me. But to be honest, in the slowing down, it revealed to me wounds, soul wounds, mindset that no longer serves me, especially the season that I'm in. So I had choice. Do I stay stuck there, or they do I look at it in the face and be like, what is going on? How what can I do? How can I change his mindset? How can I this? And one of the things that came up is I didn't know how to rest, right? Because because rest for me back then, it was just going to sleep, taking a nap. Little did I know, in this book that I read called Sacred Rest, there are 7 type of rest. There's a mental rest, the creative rest, the emotional rest. And that's not something that I grew up learning. I had to learn this in my marriage, in motherhood. So, like I said, I didn't know I was resting. I don't know how to rest. I was more drowsy in a slumber, right? So, by the way, before I continue, I have this herbs right here that I am making. for garlic fried rice. We're gonna make a garlic herb fried rice. This is some leftover herbs that I want to clean up my fridge. That's what I'm doing. And then right now, what I'm doing is prepping a meal for the next few days because as much as I love cooking, I don't like cooking every day. So this is a simple recipe. I'll share them in the show notes as well. So this is a ground beef from a local farm, and I'm just gonna season it with Japanese barbecue sauce. And this is perfect for like burgers, or if you want to make like a bowl of ground beef and veggies. Such a great, easy meal and a save time. It saves you time. Anyways, as we continue about this conversation, right? I'm thinking about I was in a slumber, and this is why I wrote Pursuing Perfect Love, because I want to love well, but I define love in a incomplete and even flawed way, because my definition of love is not a who, is a what, and is what I experience. Little did I know, like just like I said, love is a who. God is love. Yet, we can come into this idea that love is somewhat conditional, or sacrificing yourself to the point that you lose your voice, you lose your identity. But that's not what Jesus taught us. He said no, he said yes. And by the way, he didn't heal everybody. He did not even try to convince everyone who he is. Remember that story in the Bible where this young rich ruler wants to follow Jesus? Jesus loved this young rich ruler. Yet the qualification to follow him is to leave everything. But that young rich ruler could not leave it because he made that his identity. Yet Jesus give him the freedom to make that choice. And sometimes when we love people, loving them is also meeting where they are and accepting that their choice will not look like ours. And that's okay. Because if a God who created us, given us a freedom of choice, who are we as human beings? Stop them from creating that type of freedom for their life. And sometimes love is also walking away and setting necessary boundaries. And boundaries not only to others, but for yourself, because you know it's not good for your well being. And in motherhood and in marriage, I learned that I cannot overflow if I don't lead myself first. If I don't know my capacity, if I don't know my limits, I cannot serve in a loving way because everything starts in my heart and in my soul. Cooking is still my love language. But now I don't cook out of pressure. I cook out of presence. It's a way I enjoy myself being focused on what I'm doing, and kind of remind me is a way of connecting to how I grew up in my culture. And in this recipe, it's so easy. All you have to do is olive oil, the rice, and you can use it on a regular pan too, or a wok. But this is what we have. Ugh. So this is what we're using. Just flipping and waiting as you go. And we're gonna add some garlic. You just gotta wait it out. Hmm, that's hot. And then let's season it right now with black pepper and salt. So I don't do measurement. I put a little bit here and there as I go and taste it. Because if you're a cook, it's kind of hard to measure. I go with my smell, how it looks, how it tastes. Yep. We gotta wait it out. Let it crisp. I added some more garlic in my rice because I just love garlic. If you're a garlic lover, make sure to add that in the comment because you're not alone. All right, let's pause, breathe, and ask ourselves, where did you learn love as responsibility or taking responsibility that is not even yours? What kind of rest do you actually need in this season? As a mother, as a wife, as a woman who following her dreams? And where is God inviting you to rest, to receive his love? This is why the pause challenge exists. I learned in my own experience that to love well, I must learn to slow down, and it takes just only 5 minutes a day to start. So instead of surviving and reacting, I am starting to receive and respond in a way love shows up, meaning I can love without losing myself, a love that look like Jesus. And sometimes love could sound like pahinga na tayo. Let's rest. Tama na. That's enough. Or kain na tayo. Let's eat. Make sure to stay tuned to the next episode. We're going to go deeper into pursuing perfect love. Because while love is received, we also have a part to play. Not by striving, not by earning, but by being open, by making space to God's presence. Because to receive love, it starts with us by willing to receive Him and to see His perspective. And if this resonating with you, I'd love for you to subscribe and join this journey with me. You'll find the past challenge and the books I shared in the description notes. And one last thing. If this episode resonated with you, can you share it with someone? Let's remind each other who love is. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. This is Shello, the Saver Mama.